Summer Camp VBS season, it is in full swing right now. Rob and Lizz in the morning, his radio.
Well, my kids were a little younger and they would head off to summer camp. Of course, I always prayed for safe travels, but I was reading something the other day that was talking about some other things that we can pray for, and it was like pray for long-lasting relationships. And I never thought about that. I didn't go to summer camp when I was a kid, and so I'm not sure of those experiences like firsthand, but praying that they have those lifelong relationships, that they are courageous enough or brave enough to really start conversation with maybe some shyer kids that are staying in the background a little bit. So I thought those were some really cool tips.
I love summer camp. I went as a kid, and I go with my kids to summer camp all the time.
So much fun.
As a matter of fact, near the end of July, Eli and I are going to high school summer camp at our church. They call it one camp, and I'm so looking forward to it. I absolutely love it. Scott's son goes to what kind of camp?
Well, I never went to summer camps either, but I'm really excited. This week, he's going to a Lego engineering camp.
What?
Right?
Yeah, they're going to be using like robots, mechanisms, all the movements along with the traditional Lego pieces. So I'm really excited. I almost wish I could go with him. It sounds so much fun.
Maybe they still need chaperones.
You're listening to Rob and Lizz in the morning.
His radio.
I don't know the best way to describe this, except for it's almost like stadium seats in an airplane. They're calling it double-decker, and so you'll have one seat that's up high, and then you'll look down at your feet, and then there's a person down at your feet in their own seat, and then they look up, and there's another person above them. So it's like they're calling it double-decker. I don't know if I'm explaining it right. It's almost like stadium seating, only it's you got one on the floor, and then one up high, and then down on the floor again, and one up high with these seats, and they say with these, this is for airplane. I don't know if I said that, but this is for an airplane. And so they're thinking that this is going to help with more space. And on the bottom level, you have more places to put your luggage. And they won't have screens in front of you like some of the planes do, but they'll be able to give you access through your personal device to watch stuff while you're flying.
So these are also kind of staggered, I would say.
That's probably a good way to say it.
Well, here's one thing. So the person that is on the bottom level of this seating, this double-decker seating, basically has someone's tushy in their face for the whole flight. I'm not.
Oh, that's
I'm
a
not
big
behind
chair
that
in
at
front
all.
of you. Yeah. Oh, you're not behind that at all.
Right.
I just saw what you did there.
You're listening to Rob and Lizz in the morning.
His radio.
Poor Chris lost his job. Creative director in Florida. He's like, man, I lost my job. What am I going to do? So he decided to make a sign. He held it up on social media, and the sign basically says, open for work. I got laid off last week, so I will be free falling until I find a new gig, literally. And he skydived. So he jumped out of a plane, skydiving. He filmed himself, and he held up that cardboard sign doing that.
Could anybody see it from the ground?
No, he posted it.
Oh, he posted
on
it
social media. And so, creative way to look for a job. And by golly, a CEO of a social app contacted him after they saw that on LinkedIn and said, you're hired, dude. Come on down.
Well, that was smart. He put it on LinkedIn. So, you know what? That's very cool to set yourself apart. And you said a social media company?
Yeah, or a social app. So the CEO literally reached out to him. It makes me think about jobs that someone would like to do for at least a day. I don't know if you're skydive or anything like that, but Chris certainly did after he lost his job, so he was a standout. And I was thinking about jobs because I love what I do, but if I could do something for a day, what would that be? I mean, Scott, for instance, he wants to be a PA announcer for an MLB team for at least a day.
Specifically for the Braves. I would love to do that, to be able to call out, the players' names and the announcements and hear it kind of reverberate around the stadium. I think that would be so much fun.
I think we need to hear it. I think we need to hear your pitch of what you would do.
All right. Let's see. Now batting for the Braves, first baseman Matt Olson.
Woo! I felt like I was there, Scott. I feel like you need the job.
I didn't. I felt like I was sitting here.
You're listening to Rob and Liz in the morning.
His radio.
Again? Rob and Lizz in the morning, his radio.
What do you mean by again?
Found it again? I feel like we found it quite a few times. There's even been a movie about it, or several. So
The Ark? Yeah. And it's possible they may have found the Ark. It's on a mountain. They call it Mount, let me see if I can find it because I had it right here. Oh, Mount Tenderek. Mount Tenderek. And that's in Turkey. And I think it's like a shield volcano. Don't ask me what that means, but it's a shield volcano. But they really believe that this possibly could be the formation that they're seeing, the actual ark that we see about in Genesis in the Bible, Noah and the ark. Geologists are saying this may be a rock formation. But there's a gentleman by the name of Andrew Jones that's going to go and look at it and research it and see if this is the ark or not.
Well, I think it's pretty cool. I get my hopes up every time that they say, okay, we may have found something. And then you're kind of like, okay, they didn't find it. But at the same time, it does create dialogue because you'll have kids saying, oh, what's the ark? Or tell me that story. Or I want to hear that story. I want to read about that story. So for that reason, I'm grateful.
So I am back in high school ministry at my church because Elijah is just getting into high school. So I go through the journey of high school with my kids. And it's shocking to me the biblical stories that some of our youth and students don't really know, like Noah and the ark. So if they didn't grow up in church and went to a Sunday school or some kind of class during school when services are going on, if we're not teaching it at home, they have no idea what these stories are.
Oh, I'll be the first to admit that. I was in 5th grade and didn't know the Gospels and was kind of made fun of by some of the other students. And you know what? I made sure to learn them.
Rob and Liz.
His morning crew.
Earth takes a look to its left, and there's something following us. It's Rob and Liz in the morning, his radio. And what is following the Earth? Nothing but 2023 FW13. What a pesky little thing that is.
It is. And you know what? It's been there a while. It's kind of been tailgating us for a while. But astronomers have just noticed that this is happening. And I mean, it's been following us since like 100 BC. So it's been a minute.
The space rock. It's a space rock, literally. Yeah. They call it a fake moon because at first they thought it was a moon that was orbiting the Earth, and when they looked at it a little closer, it just turns out to be what they're calling a fake moon or an asteroid that's orbiting the sun, just like we're orbiting the sun. So it's like third rock plus from the sun.
Yeah, and it's kind of like following the same path that we follow, which is super weird. So it is almost like it's tailgating. So I don't know if we're going to brake check it at any time, but that's usually not a good thing to do. So.
Yeah, right? And I think they need to rename it. Name it Liz or something like that instead of 2023 FW13.
That would be such a high honor. Just don't forget the second Z on my name.
Rob and Liz.
His morning crew.
Archer is the cutest little boy. He has dark brown skin and he has this bright, almost flaming red hair, and he has the cutest little dimples. Well, his mom and dad adopted him right after he was born. And ever since, he's been in their family, they have been looking for toys that look like him or represent him, whether it's coloring books or little toys. And they can't find that combination with that deep, beautiful skin and that red hair. And they've had friends, they've had family that have been looking. Finally, they said, okay, we're going a step farther. And they sent a letter to Fisher-Price, the people that make all the toys. And they got a response. They got a response, not only in letter form, but in a box full of toys, including some of those Fisher-Price little people, those little toys that look exactly like Archer.
Oh, get out. That is so cool. They did that.
It is so cool that they responded and they said, your letter to us, this is from the Fisher-Price Company, your letter to us touched our hearts, that we felt like we needed to go above and beyond and do something, kind of paraphrasing there. But I love that this little boy now has toys that look exactly like him.
Rob and Lizz.
His morning crew.
One of those right song at the right time moments. I love it. It's Rob and Lizz in the morning, His Radio. And I want to thank you for keeping that alive during the summer months. If you didn't know, His Radio is listener supported. So it's gifts from people like you that keep His Radio strong during the summer months. And you have been. So thank you for being faithful in your gift to His Radio.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, there are a lot of people that are, of course, traveling because it is summertime, and maybe they're coming through the area and they're just scanning through the dial and they find His Radio, and you have made that possible so that they hear a prayer or a word that tells them about Jesus or a song just like that. And you have made that happen. So thank you.
Yeah, I just wanted to say thanks because you're keeping His Radio strong and that hope alive for people that really need the hope of Jesus. If you want to make a gift, you can. Just text the word give to 800-447-7234. And you're keeping His Radio going strong through the summer. And we wanted to say
You're listening to Rob and Lizz in the morning.
His Radio.
here's the deal. Summer's here. You know that. You're living it. I don't know what's on the books for you for any type of summer vacation, but if you feel like, man, this is kind of not the best year for my summer vacation. I mean, for the Dempseys, we don't have one planned. We're doing a couple of weekend trips, and that's about it. We just got too busy to plan anything. But I'm thinking, if you're in that situation, maybe a trip to Orlando and Universal Studios will help out to be the best summer ever for you.
Yeah, absolutely. And, you know, there's Universal City Walk, which is full of all kinds of restaurants, and there's like a boat, a water taxi there, and then you go into the parks. I mean, this is all part of the best summer ever, and it's something you and your family could win this summer.
A big thank you to Southern Wesleyan University for making that possible. And it's easy to win. All you have to do is just text a word, and the word is summer.
Summer. That's all you have to do. Text that word. You don't have to sing it.
Please don't. Wow. Okay. So text the word summer.
Wait.
No.
You got to do it with me. Come on,
Absolutely
Rob.
not. I won't. Sorry.
Yes. Yes, you will.
Hey, listen. I succumbed to peer pressure back in the 80s. Not anymore.
Just do it. Summer.
Nope. But I'll give you a phone number, 800-447-7234. She'll sing summer. I'll just talk. It's a great combination. Whether you like the singing or not, you got it both here. Boom. Okay, just like that. Text the word summer, 800-447-7234, and you could win the best
Summer.
You're listening to Rob and Lizz in the morning.
His Radio.
Brought their own fish to the hotel, and they called room service and said, hey, could you fry this up for me?
Well, why not? I've never ordered room service in my life. Never.
I ordered room service 2 weeks ago.
Really? What'd you get?
A hamburger. That was it.
Okay.
And, I mean, it was because it was late. We didn't have another place for dinner, really. Like, the restaurant was crazy crowded. And so I was like, okay, I can justify it in this instance. But that was about it. So it's not something I normally do. One time, I was so hungry, I wanted to order room service, and they wanted $14 for a bowl of chips. I was like,
what?
Room service is not from my pocketbook.